They unearthed the impossible monuments and machines from worlds long vanished, built with skills history says shouldn't exist. But in the silence of stone and bronze, a question lingers. What did our ancestors know that we have already forgotten? Beneath the waves off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera, divers in 1901 uncovered the remnants of a shipwreck lost for over 2,000 years. Among the statues, amphorae, and corroded bronze lay a mass of encrusted gears, an object so complex, it would take decades to recognize its true significance. This artifact, now known as the Antikythera Mechanism, is a hand-powered device from around the 1st or 2nd century BCE. Made of bronze and housed in a wooden case, it contained more than 30 precision-crafted gears, some smaller than a coin, arranged in an intricate network. When turned by a crank, these gears could predict the positions of the sun, moon, and possibly planets, track lunar phases, and even forecast eclipses with remarkable accuracy. Its construction revealed a level of mechanical sophistication unknown for its time, a technology that would not be matched for over a millennium. X-ray imaging has allowed researchers to virtually unfold the corroded fragments, revealing inscriptions and calculations that suggest it was not merely a tool, but a portable model of the cosmos itself. Yet many questions remain. Who built it? How was such precise engineering achieved in the ancient world? And was it truly unique, or simply the only survivor of a lost tradition of ancient science? The mechanism sits today in the National Archaeological Museum of Athens, silent, incomplete, and still guarding secrets from an age that understood far more than history has recorded. On a limestone ridge in southeastern Turkey, buried beneath layers of earth for millennia, lies a place that rewrites the story of human civilization. Discovered in the 1990s, Göbekli Tepe is a monumental complex of massive T-shaped stone pillars, some towering over 5 meters high and weighing more than 10 tons. Archaeologists date its construction to around 9,600 BCE, thousands of years before Stonehenge, the pyramids, or even the advent of agriculture. The site consists of circular enclosures, each formed by pillars carved with intricate reliefs of animals: lions, snakes, boars, vultures, and abstract symbols whose meanings remain elusive. These were not crude works. The carvings display a skill and artistry that challenge assumptions about the capabilities of early hunter-gatherers. What's most striking is that there are no signs of permanent settlement nearby, no houses, no fields. It appears that the people who built Göbekli Tepe gathered here for ritual or ceremonial purposes, traveling from distant regions to take part in events we can only imagine. The effort required to quarry, shape, and erect these stones suggests a shared purpose powerful enough to unite scattered groups. Yet, perhaps the greatest mystery is why it was buried. At some point, long before recorded history, its builders deliberately covered the site, preserving it in remarkable condition. Was this an act of reverence, protection, or something more complex? Today, Göbekli Tepe rises from the Anatolian plateau as a silent testament to a forgotten chapter of human ambition, a place where the first monumental architecture on Earth may have been born, and where the answers to its purpose still lie hidden in stone. High in the Bolivian Andes, on a windswept plateau over 3,800 meters above sea level, lie the scattered remains of Puma Punku, a site whose stonework has puzzled archaeologists for generations. Part of the larger Tiwanaku complex, it is believed to have been built over 1,000 years ago, yet its craftsmanship seems to defy the tools and methods known to that time. Massive sandstone and andesite blocks, some weighing more than 100 tons, are cut with astonishing precision. Many feature perfectly straight edges, sharp interior corners, and intricate interlocking shapes, as if designed to fit together like pieces of a vast stone puzzle. Some surfaces are so flat that they appear machine-smoothed, and the geometric H-blocks found here are nearly identical, suggesting a standardized plan. Transporting such immense stones from quarries miles away and shaping them with such accuracy would have required a remarkable combination of skill, labor, and organization. Yet, no written records from the Tiwanaku culture explain how it was achieved. Equally mysterious is Puma Punku's purpose. It may have been a ceremonial platform, an administrative hub, or a sacred gateway within the Tiwanaku religion. Whatever its role, the site suffered a sudden and violent collapse, possibly from an earthquake, leaving the massive blocks toppled and scattered across the plain. Today, Puma Punku remains a place where precision and mystery meet. Standing among its silent stones, one is left to wonder. What knowledge allowed its builders to work on such a monumental scale, and how much of that knowledge has been lost to time? Across the arid plains of southern Peru, etched into the desert floor, stretch hundreds of massive geoglyphs known as the Nazca Lines. Created between 500 BCE and 500 CE by the Nazca culture, these designs range from simple geometric shapes to vast depictions of animals, plants, and human-like figures. Some so large they can only be fully appreciated from the air. Formed by removing the dark, weathered stones on the desert surface to reveal the lighter soil beneath, the lines have endured for centuries thanks to the region's dry climate and minimal wind. Among the most famous figures are a hummingbird, a spider, a monkey with a coiled tail, and the enigmatic astronaut figure, its hand raised as if in greeting. Others take the form of vast straight lines running for kilometers across the plain, intersecting in patterns whose meaning is still debated. The exact purpose of the Nazca Lines remains uncertain. Some researchers believe they were part of astronomical or calendrical systems, aligning with solstices and star positions. Others suggest they served as ritual pathways, walked during ceremonies to invoke water and fertility in this arid land. What is clear is the extraordinary effort required to create them, and the deep cultural significance they must have held for their makers. Today, the Nazca Lines remain both a UNESCO World Heritage Site and an enduring enigma, their full meaning written not in books, but across the silent desert itself, waiting for a language we no longer speak. On the Giza Plateau, where the desert meets the edge of the Nile Valley, stands one of the most iconic monuments of the ancient world, the Great Sphinx. Carved from a single limestone outcrop, it stretches 73 meters in length and rises over 20 meters high, its human face crowned with the Nemes headdress, its body shaped as a reclining lion. Most scholars date its creation to around 2500 BCE, during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre, whose pyramid stands nearby. Yet the Sphinx holds mysteries that go far beyond its age. Its face, though weathered, bears features some believe may not perfectly match Khafre's known likeness. Erosion patterns on the body have sparked debate. Some geologists suggest they could be the result of heavy rainfall, hinting at a far older origin, when the climate of Egypt was wetter. Originally, the Sphinx was painted in vivid colors, with a ceremonial beard and a uraeus cobra on its brow. Over the millennia, much has been lost to time and human intervention. The beard fragments lie in museums, and the nose, famously absent, may have been deliberately removed in antiquity. Its purpose remains equally enigmatic. Guardian of the pyramid complex, solar symbol aligned with celestial events, a monument to a forgotten chapter of Egyptian history? The answers are still elusive. Today, the Great Sphinx gazes east toward the rising sun, as it has for thousands of years, a silent sentinel whose worn face still guards the secrets of Egypt's ancient past. In the gentle chalk hills of Wiltshire, not far from Stonehenge, lies another monument of equal mystery, the Great Stone Circle of Avebury. Dating to around 2600 BCE, it is the largest known prehistoric stone circle in the world, enclosing an area of over 11 hectares. Unlike the compact design of Stonehenge, Avebury's scale is vast, its massive sarsen stones spread wide across the landscape. The circle once contained at least 98 standing stones, some weighing more than 40 tons. Within it, two smaller stone circles added layers of complexity, suggesting a ceremonial or symbolic purpose. Surrounding the entire site is a deep ditch and an immense outer bank, an earthwork whose construction would have required immense labor and organization. The placement of Avebury is striking. It sits within a broader sacred landscape that includes Silbury Hill, West Kennet Long Barrow, and a network of ancient trackways, all seemingly connected in a pattern whose meaning remains hidden. The stones themselves are unshaped, left in their natural form, yet positioned with apparent intent, perhaps reflecting cosmological beliefs or seasonal events. Over the centuries, parts of Avebury were dismantled, its stones buried or broken, as later generations repurposed the land. What survives today is only part of its original grandeur, yet it still evokes the same sense of awe. Standing in the vast ring, with the horizon stretching beyond, one cannot help but wonder what gatherings, rites, and stories once filled this space, and why the people who built it left no words to explain their work. On the open plains of Wiltshire in southern England, a ring of massive stones rises from the grass, a monument that has stood for over 4,000 years. Stonehenge, built in stages between roughly 3000 and 2000 BCE, consists of towering sarsen stones and smaller bluestones, some hauled from quarries more than 200 kilometers away in Wales. The arrangement is precise. Upright stones capped with lintels form massive trilithons, while others stand in concentric circles and horseshoe patterns. These alignments are not random. Certain sightlines match the position of the sun during the summer and winter solstices, suggesting that Stonehenge served as a kind of astronomical marker, guiding seasonal rituals or agricultural calendars. Yet, the engineering behind its construction remains extraordinary. Without metal tools or wheeled transport, its builders shaped and positioned stones weighing up to 25 tons. The effort required would have demanded coordination across large communities, united by purpose and tradition. Archaeological evidence points to Stonehenge as more than a calendar. It may have been a ceremonial center, a place of burial, healing, or pilgrimage. Over centuries, its meaning likely evolved, reflecting changes in the society that gathered there. Even now, the exact beliefs and practices it embodied remain beyond our reach. Standing among its weathered stones, one feels both the weight of human ingenuity and the silence of lost knowledge, as if the monument still waits for someone who remembers its true voice. Rising from the Wiltshire countryside like a perfect green mound, Silbury Hill is the largest prehistoric man-made mound in Europe and one of its most enduring enigmas. Built around 2400 BCE, it stands nearly 40 meters high and spans 160 meters across its base, containing an estimated 500,000 tons of chalk and soil. Despite its scale, Silbury Hill holds no evidence of chambers, burials, or treasures. Excavations over the past 2 centuries have revealed little beyond its complex layers of construction. Archaeologists believe it was built in stages, with successive generations adding new layers, each carefully shaped and packed. Such an undertaking would have required a vast, coordinated workforce and a purpose compelling enough to justify years of effort. Its location is no accident. Silbury Hill is part of the wider ceremonial landscape of Avebury, West Kennet Long Barrow, and other Neolithic monuments, aligned along ancient pathways and sightlines. From its summit, one can survey the surrounding hills and monuments, as if the mound itself were meant to command both land and sky. The function of Silbury Hill remains unknown. It may have been a platform for ritual, a territorial marker, a symbol of communal unity, or something more esoteric, perhaps linked to seasonal cycles or celestial events. Today, grass-covered and silent, Silbury Hill endures as a monument without a clear message. It stands not as a tomb or fortress, but as an expression of a purpose that time has erased, leaving only the shape and the question behind. On a ridge overlooking the River Kennet in Wiltshire lies one of Britain's most impressive Neolithic tombs, the West Kennet Long Barrow. Built around 3650 BCE, this elongated mound stretches more than 100 meters, with a stone-lined passage leading into a series of burial chambers. Constructed from massive sarsen blocks and earth, the barrow served as a communal resting place for at least 46 individuals, their remains placed in separate chambers along the passage. Archaeological evidence suggests that bones were moved, rearranged, and perhaps used in rituals long after the initial burials, hinting at complex beliefs about ancestry and the cycle of life and death. The entrance to the barrow was once sealed by a facade of towering stones, giving it a commanding presence in the landscape. From here, the view sweeps across the sacred Avebury complex, Silbury Hill, and other ancient sites. A connection that may have been deliberate, linking the tomb to a broader ceremonial network. Yet, West Kennet Long Barrow was more than a burial site. Its careful construction, alignment, and position suggest it was also a place for the living to gather, perform rites, and reaffirm ties to the past. Around 2500 BCE, the entrance was deliberately blocked with massive stones, ending its use in ways we still do not fully understand. Today, the passage lies open once again, and visitors can step inside to feel the cool air and silence of a space shaped over 5,000 years ago. A place where stone, earth, and memory have kept their watch for millennia. On the windswept coast of Norfolk, England, a circle of ancient timbers once lay hidden beneath sand and sea for thousands of years. Discovered in 1998, Stonehenge, dated to around 2049 BCE, consists of 55 split oak posts arranged in a tight circle, surrounding the upturned stump of a massive oak tree at its center. The timbers, preserved in remarkable condition by the salt marsh, still bore tool marks from the bronze axes used to shape them. The circle measured about 7 meters across. Its posts fitted closely together, forming a wooden barrier that would have blocked the view of whatever took place inside. The purpose of Stonehenge remains a matter of debate. Some archaeologists suggest it was a mortuary enclosure, with the central inverted stump serving as a platform for placing the dead before burial elsewhere, a practice known from other prehistoric cultures. Others see it as a ritual space tied to seasonal or celestial events, perhaps linked to the turning of the year or the cycles of life and death. Its location on the shifting tidal flats adds to its mystery. In its time, the site would have been slightly inland, surrounded by salt marsh and wetland, an environment rich in symbolism for prehistoric peoples. Over the centuries, the sea encroached, burying the timbers under layers of sand that kept them safe until their discovery. Today, Stonehenge stands reconstructed in a museum, while its original placement remains marked by tides and sky, a reminder of a wooden monument built for purposes we can still only imagine. In the rolling fields of Brittany, France, thousands of ancient standing stones stretch in long, orderly rows, a monumental arrangement known as the Carnac stones. Erected during the Neolithic period between 4500 and 3300 BCE, these megaliths vary from waist-high slabs to towering monoliths over 4 meters tall, their weathered surfaces bearing the marks of countless seasons. The site covers several kilometers, divided into distinct alignments, stone circles, and solitary menhirs. Some stones are grouped in enclosures, while others march in straight lines across the landscape, their purpose still uncertain. The sheer number, more than 3,000 stones, suggests a long-term project, built and expanded over generations. Archaeologists have proposed many theories. The alignments may have served as ceremonial avenues, processional routes, or markers tied to astronomical observations. Others suggest they were territorial symbols, uniting scattered communities through shared construction and ritual. The Carnac stones are also surrounded by burial mounds and dolmens, linking them to the funerary traditions of the time. Yet, there is no single explanation that accounts for their scale and precision. The effort to transport and erect such stones, often from quarries kilometers away, speaks of a complex social structure and a deep cultural or spiritual purpose. Standing among the alignments today, with the wind sweeping over the Breton plains, it is easy to feel the weight of time. The stones endure, as they have for over 6 millennia, still holding the pattern and meaning their builders once knew, a language now spoken only by the silent earth. Along the windswept coast of Brittany, France, an extraordinary arrangement of megaliths stretches across the landscape, the Carnac alignments. Dating to the Neolithic period, around 4500 to 3300 BCE, these vast rows of standing stones form one of the largest and most intricate prehistoric monuments in the world. The alignments are divided into several main sites, including Menec, Kermerio, and Kurliskan. At Menec, 11 parallel rows of granite menhirs extend for hundreds of meters, each stone carefully placed to maintain the overall pattern. Kermerio's stones are taller and more imposing, while Kurliskan preserves a sense of symmetry and precision, its stones still standing in remarkably straight lines. The number is staggering, more than 3,000 stones in total, some reaching over 4 meters in height. The effort required to quarry, transport, and position them, often from kilometers away, suggests a level of organization and shared purpose remarkable for the time. Their meaning remains elusive. The alignments may have marked astronomical events, served as ceremonial avenues, or represented a symbolic mapping of the landscape. Their proximity to other Neolithic structures, dolmens, tumuli, and stone circles, hints at a broader ritual complex. Today, the Carnac alignments still stand under the shifting Breton sky, their rows fading into the horizon. Whether they once guided processions, tracked the heavens, or marked the boundaries of sacred ground, they remain a silent testament to a vision and knowledge we have yet to fully understand. On a small island in the Gulf of Morbihan, off the coast of Brittany, lies Gavrinis, a Neolithic passage grave renowned for its extraordinary stone carvings. Built around 3,500 BCE, the mound rises gently from the grassy shore, its entrance leading into a narrow, stone-lined passage that opens into a single burial chamber. What sets Gavrinis apart is the artistry of its megaliths. Almost every slab along the passage and chamber walls is decorated with intricate engravings. Spirals, zigzags, concentric arcs, and shapes that resemble axes, staffs, and shields. Some patterns appear abstract, while others may carry symbolic or astronomical meaning. The precision and variety of these carvings suggest a sophisticated visual language, perhaps tied to the beliefs or cosmology of its builders. The passage is aligned so that, during certain times of the year, sunlight penetrates directly into the chamber, a feature that may have linked the tomb to seasonal cycles or rituals honoring the dead. Although human remains have long since disappeared, the structure's purpose as a communal burial site is clear. The stones themselves tell another story. Some bear traces indicating they were repurposed from even older monuments, hinting at layers of history and meaning now lost. Today, Gavrinis remains accessible only by boat, its grassy mound concealing the world within. Stepping inside, one is surrounded by the silent geometry of the past, a place where stone, art, and alignment speak of a culture whose voice now survives only in patterns carved thousands of years ago. On the Isle of Lewis in Scotland's Outer Hebrides, a ring of ancient monoliths stands against a backdrop of windswept hills and shifting skies, the Callanish stones. Erected during the late Neolithic period, around 2900 BCE, this arrangement consists of a central stone circle, a tall central monolith, and radiating rows of stones that form a rough cross when viewed from above. The tallest stone, rising nearly 5 meters, dominates the center, surrounded by 13 others forming the circle. From this hub, lines of stones extend to the north, south, east, and west, creating avenues that may have served as processional routes or alignments with celestial events. Archaeological evidence suggests the site was in use for more than 1,000 years, later adapted and modified by Bronze Age communities. The Callanish stones are thought to have been closely tied to the movements of the moon. Certain alignments mark the extreme positions of the lunar cycle, particularly the rare major lunar standstill that occurs every 18.6 years. Such precision implies a deep understanding of astronomy among its builders. Local legend adds another layer of mystery. Folklore speaks of giants who refused to convert to Christianity and returned to stone, or of the stones as a place of ancient magic and gatherings. Today, the Callanish stones stand silent beneath the wide Hebridean sky, their weathered surfaces catching light and shadow. Whether they once marked time, honored deities, or brought communities together, they remain a place where the land, the heavens, and human intent meet in enduring stone. On the mainland of Orkney, encircled by sweeping lochs and rolling hills, stands the Ring of Brodger, a vast stone circle from the late Neolithic period, built around 2500 to 2000 BCE. Measuring 104 meters in diameter, it is one of the largest stone circles in Britain, originally composed of 60 towering monoliths, of which 36 remain standing today. The stones, some rising over 4 meters, are set within a broad circular ditch hewn directly into the bedrock, a feat that would have required immense labor and coordination. The monument forms part of Orkney's heart of Neolithic landscape, linked to other significant sites such as the stones of Stonehenge, Maeshowe, and the Ness of Brodger, creating a network of ceremonial and ritual spaces. The ring's purpose is still unknown. Its size and setting suggest it was more than a simple gathering place. The alignments of certain stones appear to correspond with the solstices and equinoxes, hinting at an astronomical function. It may also have served as a sacred enclosure for ceremonies, seasonal festivals, or rites of passage. No evidence of permanent settlement lies within the circle, reinforcing the idea that it was reserved for special occasions. Over time, the site was modified, its meaning perhaps evolving with the communities who used it. Today, the Ring of Brodger remains open to the wind and sky, its stones weathered but enduring. Standing at its center, one feels the weight of millennia, and the quiet certainty that this was once a place where people sought to connect the rhythms of earth and heavens. In the heart of Orkney, Scotland, a grassy mound rises from the landscape. Beneath it lies Maeshowe, one of the finest examples of a Neolithic chambered cairn in Europe. Built around 2800 BCE, this monumental tomb consists of a long, narrow passage leading into a central stone chamber, with side cells branching from its walls. The construction is a masterpiece of prehistoric engineering. Massive sandstone blocks were carefully fitted together without mortar, their weight and placement creating stability that has endured for over 5,000 years. The passage is aligned so that, at the winter solstice, the setting sun's rays shine directly into the chamber, illuminating its interior, a design likely tied to seasonal rituals and the symbolism of death and rebirth. Maeshowe's story does not end in prehistory. In the 12th century, Norsemen seeking shelter broke into the tomb, leaving behind runic inscriptions carved into the stone walls. These runes, some humorous, others cryptic, are among the largest collections of Viking graffiti in the world, blending two very different eras of human history within the same ancient space. No human remains were found inside, leading to ongoing debate about whether Maeshowe's primary function was funerary, ceremonial, or symbolic. Its position within Orkney's ceremonial landscape, aligned with the stones of Stonehenge and the Ring of Brodger, suggests it was part of a larger, interconnected ritual complex. Today, stepping into Maeshowe feels like entering both a tomb and a time capsule, a place where the light of the sun, the marks of Vikings, and the skill of Neolithic builders all meet in quiet dialogue across the ages. On the windswept western shore of Orkney's mainland lies Skara Brae, a remarkably preserved Neolithic village that offers a rare glimpse into daily life over 5,000 years ago. Discovered in the mid-19th century after a fierce storm stripped away the sand that had long concealed it, the settlement dates to around 3180 to 2500 BCE. Skara Brae consists of 8 interconnected stone houses, linked by covered passageways that shielded inhabitants from the harsh Atlantic winds. Each home features built-in stone furniture, beds, shelves, and hearths, all crafted with a practicality and uniformity that suggest a closely knit community. The interiors reveal a society skilled in using available resources, with whalebone, driftwood, and turf supplementing the abundant local stone. The site has yielded artifacts of everyday life: pottery, bone tools, beads, and gaming pieces, hinting at both the domestic routines and leisure activities of its inhabitants. Midden heaps, ancient refuse piles, provide evidence of diet dominated by fish, shellfish, and livestock. Yet questions remain. There are no signs of fortifications, suggesting a peaceful existence, but the reason for the village's eventual abandonment is still debated. Climate change, sand encroachment, or shifting social patterns may have played a role. Skara Brae's preservation is extraordinary, often called the Pompeii of the North, allowing us to walk the same passageways once trodden by its builders. Standing there today with the sea just beyond, it feels as though the inhabitants have only just stepped out, leaving their world intact but their voices silent. In the lush Boyne Valley of Ireland, A great white quartz facade curves around an ancient mound. This is Newgrange, a Neolithic passage tomb built over 5,000 years ago, around 3,200 BCE, making it older than Stonehenge and the Great Pyramids. The mound spans more than 80 meters in diameter and rises 13 meters high, encircled by 97 massive curbstones, many carved with intricate spirals, lozenges, and other megalithic art. A narrow, stone-lined passage leads deep into the mound, ending in a cruciform chamber with a corbelled roof that has stood intact for millennia. Newgrange is aligned with extraordinary precision. Each year, at the winter solstice, the rising sun sends a beam of light through a small opening above the entrance, the roof box, illuminating the inner chamber for a few brief minutes. This celestial alignment, maintained for thousands of years, suggests a deep understanding of astronomy and a symbolic connection between the sun's return and themes of renewal and the afterlife. Although commonly referred to as a tomb, Newgrange likely served as much more: a place of ceremony, ancestral reverence, and cosmic observation. The scale of construction implies the work of a large, organized community united by shared beliefs. Today, Newgrange remains one of the most celebrated monuments of prehistoric Europe. As the solstice light pierces its inner darkness each year, it offers a rare and tangible link to the intentions of a people whose knowledge of sky and stone still shapes the way we see this ancient world. In the heart of Ireland's Boyne Valley, not far from Newgrange, lies Knowth, a vast Neolithic passage tomb complex that stands as one of the most important prehistoric sites in Europe. Built around 3,200 BCE, Knowth consists of a massive central mound, 12 meters high and 67 meters in diameter, surrounded by 18 smaller satellite tombs. The Great Mound is encircled by 127 curbstones, most carved with intricate megalithic art. Spirals, concentric circles, chevrons, and mysterious abstract patterns adorn the stones, making Knowth home to the largest collection of megalithic art in Western Europe. Some carvings may represent lunar or solar cycles, maps, or symbolic expressions of a belief system now lost to time. Two long passages pierce the mound from east and west, each leading to a chamber. Unlike Newgrange, the passages are not aligned to the solstice sun. Instead, their orientations may reflect different ceremonial or astronomical purposes. Excavations have revealed that the site was used and reused over millennia, from a Neolithic burial place to a settlement in the Iron Age and a hill fort in the early medieval period. Artifacts found at Knowth, from stone tools to personal ornaments, tell of a community deeply engaged with both the practical and spiritual aspects of life. The deliberate layering of use over time speaks to its enduring significance across generations. Today, Knowth stands as both a monument and a palimpsest of history, a place where art, engineering, and ritual intertwined, leaving behind an enduring enigma carved into stone. In the misty highlands of Laos, scattered across the landscape, lie thousands of massive stone vessels, a megalithic mystery known as the Plain of Jars. Found mainly in Chiang Kuang province, these jars, carved from sandstone, granite, and other local rock, range from less than a meter to over 3 meters in height, some weighing several tons. Archaeologists date them to around 500 BCE to 500 CE, though their exact origin and purpose remain uncertain. Many jars are clustered in groups, while others stand alone, positioned across hillsides, valleys, and ridges. Their shapes are generally cylindrical with wide openings, and some have stone discs nearby that may have served as lids. Excavations have revealed human remains, burial goods, and ceramics at several jar sites, suggesting a connection to funerary practices. One theory is that the jars were used to expose bodies to the elements before secondary burial, a form of mortuary ritual known in other ancient cultures. Others propose they served as large storage containers for water or food, though the distribution and scale seem to favor a ceremonial role. Adding to the mystery is their endurance through time. The jars have survived centuries of weathering, war, and even modern hazards. Many sites are still partially inaccessible due to unexploded ordnance from the 20th century. Today, the Plain of Jars remains both a UNESCO World Heritage Site and an unsolved riddle. Standing among these silent stone vessels, one is left to wonder about the beliefs and traditions that could inspire such monumental and enduring works.